Even up there in YouTube land, Danny from Geekcast Radio doing another comic book review. This is a little later than I usually do. It's been a busy week for me, so it took some time to actually get to the comic book store. This is where I just go through some of the pickups I got at the comic book store. I don't do any deep dives. I'm not going to spoil anything, nothing to worry about there. But many of these books I actually do fuller reviews where I'll deep dive into the details, give you my thoughts and opinions on these. Most of these I have not read yet. A lot of books I'm excited about. I'm actually going to do something a little different this week where I actually save the book I'm the most excited about for the last. And if you just look at the picture on the icon, I guess by process elimination you could probably figure out what that is. But hey, I thought it may be something fun and exciting to do. Starting off with actually not comic books, but I did pick up DC previews. I know this came out last week, and I got Marvel's last week, but I thought I'd pick up DC's as well. As you can tell if you watch these videos, I don't pick up a lot of DC books, mostly because they don't offer digital codes, and Marvel does, and I tend to read my books digitally when I can, but there's some exciting things happening at DC. I have been reading a lot of DC books, but I thought I'd take a look out, and I know the new Green Lantern series is coming up, the new Shazam series, so I thought I'd take a look and see if there's any to add to my pull coming up. And also this week was the new DC Nation, and this has really been fantastic, kind of doing what Wizard used to do, and has a lot of great articles about different DC properties and different creators, so it's actually quite good. It's not like the Image magazine, which is just more previews. This is actually like a true to life magazine that provides really great concepts. So kind of cool that they put this out and it's for free. So if you're even not a DC fan, and I think your local comic book store, if you get DC Comics, should allow you to get it for free. So that's kind of cool. I know the Sanctuary is coming up, the new Tom King series. Excited to see that. As we're gearing up to the end of the year, it feels like this is when a lot of big things start happening, as they want to get a lot of their big books out before the year ends. This week is hugely stacked, and there's still a lot of major books I didn't personally pick up, but some ones I am a little bit excited about. There are some books I have been reading that I'll get to that are on the bubble for me that I might actually be dropping. We'll see. But I'm going to start with a new book as Guardians of the Galaxy. I heavily debated about picking this up or not. I haven't really been following Infinity Wars all that much. There were 3 major events going on right now in Marvel. There's Infinity Wars, there's Deception with the X-Men and the Spider-Geddon, and I went with Deception as the Extermination or whatever that I would follow, because it felt like it had the least amount of books, and being more of an X-Men fan, but just, the punniness of the title alone makes it feel like I'll pick it up. And I thought the concept was cool. It's written by Colin Bunn, who I tend to like, although I like his indie stuff much more than most of his Marvel stuff, but we'll see. I do tend to really enjoy Marvel Cosmic, so we'll go where that leads us, which brings us to this next book, which is Thanos Legacy, written by Tawny Cates and Jerry Dugan. And I don't know how much this ties into actual current Marvel right now, or if this is more it says Legacy, if it's more of a historical take. I did see Donny Cates say this has a lot of stuff into it that will lead into his just announced Guardians of the Galaxy run, which I'm excited about, because he'll be doing that with Jeff Shaw, who he did Thanos with and God Country with. So I thought I'd pick this up, because I do plan on picking that up. And I think I just spoiled something for me by looking through it, but excited to see that. There was also a Silver Surfer annual that came out this week. I debated about picking that up, but I looked through it. It didn't look all that fantastic. And with the $4.99 price tag, I was like, I'll wait and see. But a book that is also on the bubble for me is Avengers number 7. This is a title I've been liking, but it just hasn't been a book I've really ever been excited about throughout, even despite the pedigree behind it, despite this being GCRN. There's some cool things, there's some things here and there, but every time I feel like it's kind of catching on steam, it just kind of halts, and we'll see where this goes. I know this is supposed to be going into more of the origin of the first ever Ghost Rider, so that could be kind of cool, but I could see myself, I've been really debating about, should I just wait for trade for this? If I don't see anything kind of getting improved, but I do feel like GCRN, like it does take some time at times with this books, and eventually once it hits that stride, it's really good. But I don't know, 7 books in already, I feel like it would hit another level. we'll see. Another book I'm pretty sure I'm going to drop, and I meant to drop it last week after I read the first issue, was Venom Final Host #2. I only got this because I guess I'm collecting Venom, so they included it as well. I read the first issue, and it was aggressively mediocre. It just didn't do anything for me. It kind of, like, it has okay concept, the idea of, like, going back to see, who was the first host of Venom and dealing with the Skrulls and the Kree, but I just found everything about it just kind of utterly forgettable. It didn't have that excitement that you get from the Donny Cates run. It wasn't that, as visually appealing. And not being a huge gigantic Venom fan, it just seemed it felt like a very poorly aged 90s comic, unfortunately. So unless this issue majorly improves, I don't see myself sticking with this title, unfortunately. Again, another book that is on the bubble for me is Deadpool, with Deadpool #4. When I did my Marvel looking at all the new Fresh Start titles, Deadpool ranked last for me. It was getting better with each issue. I heard issue 4 is much improved. We'll see. I did look forward to some of the issues coming up, and next month and the month after, and some of the concepts of those issues actually seem somewhat interesting and kind of taking Deadpool in a different direction. But as of right now, similar. I high hopes for this. I love Scotty Young. I'll get to another Scotty Young book right now, but as of right now, it just feels like a book that's lacking in identity. It feels like a book trying to be a Deadpool book rather than a Deadpool book. We'll see where it goes from here. A book that I am not on the bubble for, and for me, it's been the best Marvel title since its launch, and that's the Immortal Hulk. This is Immortal Hulk #5. This is the first time where we're not getting a one-shot story. It's been a one-shot story each issue, but issue 3 and 4 are connected. The last issue was a lot, I wouldn't say filler because that's misleading. It was a lot of background information and perhaps hints of things that are happening, but it seems like there's more notorious things going on with those that are gamma radiated. So, we get a showdown between Sasquatch and the Hulk, which is kind of fun. But this has been a fantastic book. What Ali Ewing and Joe Benton have been doing, kind of giving it this more horror feel, has been very effective. It's just a great way of kind of taking the past and bringing it and making it new again. So of all the Marvel titles, this has been my favorite. So I'm really looking forward to diving into that issue. Another Marvel book that's I've been really enjoyed, and I'm excited to see what happens with issue 3 is Captain America, with Captain America #3. It was weird with issue 1 and issue 2 where they were eerily similar. They were almost identical in a way, in structure wise and plotting. There were some minute details that were different, but it was kind of odd how much they matched one another. There was a kind of a reveal at the end of issue #2, so it seems like that won't be happening again. But I'm curious to see. I have enjoyed kind of the voice that Ta-Nehisi Coates has given Captain America. I do like some of the concepts that they're approaching. I think it's fitting the character well, kind of taking the politics of the Secret Empire and utilizing it to kind of today's world. So I think that's kind of cool. We'll see where it goes from here. But I haven't loved everything Ta-Nehisi Coates has been doing. But if anyone has benefited from the fresh start the most as a writer, it seems like he has, and this has been a great run. It's been actually quite a great time for Captain America ever since Mark Waid took it over and Christianity had their run, and then he finished that up. It's been, as a Captain America fan, I've been happy. Very different takes on the character, and Mark Waid was more classic, more straightforward, where it feels like Ta-Nehisi Coates is more comparable to something like the Ed Brubaker type of style of the book. Speaking of Cosmic Marvel, another issue of Cosmic Ghost Rider #3 with apparently a slew of new characters that will be introduced in this book, if that's something you care about. Hey, look, Shatterstar is getting a miniseries, because why not? But I'm excited to see where this is going. This has been a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of people saying they're not a big fan of the art by Dylan Burnett, that it doesn't fit the story well because it's too cartoony. But I feel the exact opposite of that. Like, if this book was written by drawn by Jeff Shaw, who is a great artist, it would be, to me, a little too serious for this book. This is designed to be more of a comedic take. So I think his art actually fits in really well. I could see him going on and doing like a Rocket Raccoon book or something like that. Howard the Duck, for example, it has that feel of kind of being in between, where it's not so it's like it's not to the end of like Scotty Young, but at the same time it's not like a Steve McNiven. It's obviously it's more, it's in between, which I kind of miss. I do enjoy cartoony art, which I know some people like the more detailed, more realistic. To me, it depends on how it fits the title and the story, and this has been a lot of fun. It's been maybe a little light, but that's okay. It makes up for the lightness with just the sheer level of entertainment. As you can see, a lot of Marvel books this week, but there are some other titles that I'm really excited for. This one I actually have read already digitally, but I'll be doing a review of it, and that's Bully Wars, talking about Scotty Young. This is his new series, but this is one he is not writing and drawing. The art's by Aaron Connolly, and I always enjoy Scotty Young the most when he's writing and drawing his own stuff. It seems like no one gets his sense of humor more than he does. But I thought this kind of has a very similar quality to what he's doing. And this is more of a, knowing that I read this is more of an all ages book. Big reason I picked this up physically, because I could see maybe having my kid read this in a few years. But at least based upon what I've read so far, it reminds me totally of something like Captain Underpants or something like that. I think it has a humor that would be appealing to kids, but it's not so sophomoric that as an adult I just roll my eyes and won't want it to end. I have never read a Captain Underpants book, but I've seen the film, and there's a lot of potty humor, and there's some of that here. Obviously, you can see some grossness and things like that. Nickelodeon-esque, but the good Nickelodeon before it became like too crazy, like the not Ren and Stimpy, but I don't know. Trying to think of something that's comparable, maybe Rugrats or something. I don't know, but it was fun. I did enjoy this book. I'll dive deeper into a more full review. But if you're looking for something, if you're a hardcore Scotty Young fan, you love I Hate Fairyland, this may not work for you because it's not. It's more kid centric. It's not as bloody and gory as that, but it has that similar sense of humor, a little bit toned down for a more general audience. But I think it's a lot of fun. It's not necessarily a book I would associate with Image, to be honest with you. It's like this feels more like a boom box type of book. But glad Image is kind of, I know Scotty Young having previous experience with Image, probably a reason why it's going through them. Like I said, I don't pick a lot of DC books, but what I am really excited about with all their new Vertigo titles that are coming out. Border Town #1. I wanted to give a lot of them a try. I knew there was the Dreaming series that came out this week as well. I didn't love the preview issue that we got, so I thought, I'll wait. I'm also only read a small section of the Sandman universe, so I felt like if someone's only read a little bit of it, I was a little bit lost. So I might wait for trade for that. But this, being a brand new series with newer creators, I thought I'd give it a try. I don't know much about it, honestly. I just saw the previews. I didn't even realize it was coming out already, but it looked interesting. And I know DC's trying to make Vertigo matter again, like it once did, but we'll see. A book to me has been really great and for some reason under the radar is Relay. Relay #3 is out this week. This is a lot of Donny Cates books, but this is more. I think Donny Cates has story credit, but this is more written by Zach Thompson, and you can tell just because it's a little bit more cerebral than some of the books I've read from Donny Cates. But this is takes place in the future, and it's Philip K. Dick-esque in the sense of just thematically what it's going after. Certainly looking at kind of life and meaning and how religion plays a part in that. A lot of allegorical implications to things like early settlements of the American expansion and things like that, taking over other countries and gentrifying them and all that type of stuff within the science fiction world. So I'm curious to see. There's been the Relay relates to these pillars that were placed throughout these different lands, and there were these beacons that basically everything came out of, kind of like space 2001: A Space Odyssey, but different religions have kind of this religion has spun out of that, and they're basically going around all these different planets and conquering them, giving them ultimatums, and telling them that, hey, you have to abide by our rules and regulations, our way of life. If you don't, we'll basically do away with you. But they find one of the supposed founders of the religion, who was thought to be long gone, but he perhaps isn't, and he's maybe rejecting this new relay and what they're trying to accomplish. So it's been dealing with the fallout of that. But it's a little slow moving, maybe from some comic books. As you can see, there's a decent amount of dialogue. It's not like a super action packed type of science fiction story, but I find with Zach Thompson, he's often going after things and approaching topics that most comics aren't. And like his Her Infernal Descent is another great book that he does. So if you like that, if you enjoy science fiction that's more about the exploration of the human person rather than space exploration, Relay is kind of where to go. It's been quite good. And the book I'm the most excited about, do I think it'll be the best book I read? No, but just something about it. It's hitting all these different sections for me of why I'm excited. And that's James Bond Origin, which may seem kind of weird, but I am a fan of James Bond. And you can't see it behind me, but I do have the James Bond collection in Armor's Reach of all of his films. I do recognize James Bond as a character. He is not the greatest person in the world, but I find his stories, which kind of makes him interesting. Kind of misogynist, racist in a way. This is going into his origin during World War II. This is written by Jeff Parker, who I'm a big fan of, who actually did a great interview recently with iFanboy. And I love his X-Men First Class series that he did. He collected all of that. So excited to see him take on this type of role. And the artist, which is Bob Q, I think is a really up-and-coming artist. He's actually also going to be doing the art on the Lone Ranger series, and he's been tweeting out a bunch of preview images, and it's been looking fantastic. I think he's an artist that's about to break big, in my opinion. Just some of the stuff I've seen him do. So that has me really excited for what this can entail. And I've really enjoyed a lot of the Dynamite books from Dynamite's James Bond, like James Bond the Body, if that was quite good. I think every creator that's taken over the title has been able to do something new, from Warren Ellis to Alice Cott to now Jeff Parker. And I'm a fan of, I have a high interest in World War II history and things like that. So I thought, hey, I would give it a shot. So that's why I'm really excited about it. The creators behind it, the character it's about, and kind of the time place that it takes place in. So all these kind of things have kind of bottled up into a book that I really think might be quite good. Who knows? We'll see. I know, I don't typically love licensed books, but I'm starting to kind of turn the corner on that, because there's been a lot of great licensed books recently, especially from Dynamite. So, all right, well, that's it. That's my pickup for this week. As I indicated, some of these books I'm going to be trying to do more deeper dives on, like Border Town, probably James Bond, some of the Marvel books as well. So if there's any book that I brought out today that you think you would really want to hear my more detailed thoughts and opinions on, please let me know, and I'll try to make it out so I can do a more deeper video on those. But that's it for me. Just remember, comics are for everyone. The key is finding the right one. Until next time, thanks for watching.